Ooh, it's my favorite dream where I'm starring in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Wait a minute, that's not Hugo Weaving. Ah, what an unfabulous dream.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the YS channel. So today's movie that we're going to be talking and doing a little bit of a deep dive about is the Yu-Gi-Oh movie, The Pyramid of Light.
Yes, well, for those of you who don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh is, it's a anime based on a manga about a teenager who plays a card game called Duel Monsters. And in the manga and anime, playing Duel Monsters is you battle your opponents to destroy their life points down to zero.
Yes.
But basically, how the card game is actually played in real life and how it actually works in anime varies depending on the season of the show and what the writers are doing to give main character Yu-Gi-Oh the plot armor for the episode. But
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. So again, this particular movie and the whole anime franchise is based actually off the manga. There's a manga called Yu-Gi-Oh! And believe it or not, they had a lot of other, like, they call them shadow games. If you ever get a chance to look at the original work, it gets pretty dark. The Yugi Muto, whenever the dark spirit of the puzzle, Yami, or Atem as is affectionately known as his pharaoh, takes over. He used to just outright just murder people. And then eventually the whole emphasis of the franchise shifted towards the card game of Duel Monsters, which led to the second series, which is known as Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, which leads to this movie. And as you said, this takes place right after the end of the Battle City tournament arc. Yugi has all three of the Egyptian god cards. So bear with me, people. All right. So in the show and in the manga and all the other whatever video games, so all the characters, they go around, they battle each other using these trading cards. Keep in mind, they're trading cards. And they'll have some thing slapped on their arm, a dual disc or whatever. You slap the card on there, it generates a hologram. And it's supposed to be lifelike. So you can smell, feel the pain, you can smell the monsters, all the sound effects. All right. So it's basically, it's like you're getting fucking attacked for real, but not. I mean, it's a cool gimmick for a kid show. Yeah, I'm not going to fault them there. But anyhow, there are certain cards that are retardedly just overpowered. And in this original run of the series, those were the Egyptian god cards. So you had Slyther, the Sky Dragon, which is the original Japanese name is Osiris. You have Obelisk, the Tormentor, and then you have Ra, the Winged Dragon of Ra. So each card has a special tribute and a special power. And then again, in this original run of the series, they were overpowered. Basically, you had one of these cards in your deck, and you were unbeatable, except if you came across another person who had another card like that in their deck, unless you're battling against Yugi or Kaiba. Because, hacks. Right? So, long story short, Yugi has all three of these god cards, and then Kaiba, which you can say whatever you want about this whole franchise, but both in the English and Japanese versions, the voice actors really nail the Seto Kaiba character. He's an arrogant, selfish prick. He's not afraid to let you know it. So he creates all these elaborate contraptions. He has a fucking jet that's shaped like his favorite trading card. And all these other stupid accessories. Yeah, they're shaped like his favorite trading card, a Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is also another super rare, powerful card. And he creates all these contraptions just to stimulate children card game battles. So basically, the point of this movie is he wants to beat Yugi, which is such a refreshing concept of the franchise up to this point. So he wants to beat him, but after countless simulations, he realizes he doesn't have the firepower. but he knows one person who does.
That's
All right.
Pegasus.
And yeah, which is also the English actor that does his character did a brilliant job. Like he understood the assignment, make him campy and goofy as fuck.
Well, I'm gonna
But
explain.
anyway, I don't want to go
sorry.
too all. Yeah, bitch.
Hmm.
I am talking about a children's card game franchise. I prefer not to be interrupted.
Okay.
So do not interrupt me when we're talking about children's playing cards. This is the utmost serious of matters.
Of course, Eric.
But basically, well, anyway, there is one card out there that could take out the god cards. And Kaiba realizes who can get it, which you already spoiled it. And it's Maximilian Pegasus. And basically, I will let you explain more of the plot here in just a bit. And how that leads into the Pyramid of Light and the main villain in the movie. So go ahead.
Well,
Movie spoiler.
I was trying to explain. Maximilian Pegasus, who was the original arch villain from the first season of the show when they were in Duel's Kingdom, has the card Kaiba needs to defeat the Egyptian god cards. But at the same time, someone named Anubis has been revived, and he too has a powerful card at his side that can basically toy with the Egyptian god cards or destroy them. And he basically puts that card amongst Pegasus' collection. When Kaiba does beat Pegasus, he discovers the two cards. Pegasus is baffled because he only had the one. And Pegasus will play a later part towards the end of the movie, but basically the plot of the movie is before the main events of the show, the Pharaoh Atem banishes Anubis to an early grave or something. Basically, he has to entomb, and then when years later, when Yugi assembles this puzzle that summons the Pharaoh, Anubis is awakened and he begins his quest to get revenge on the Pharaoh. But he has but basically Anubis and Pegasus have the two cards needed to defeat the Egyptian god cards, and Anubis essentially makes his way to join Kaiba during the main duel of the movie where he battles Yugi to gain control of the Egyptian god cards. And basically that is the plot of the movie. Kaiba battles Yugi and it's corrupted by an actual shadow game. And then Anubis comes forth and he becomes an actual duel monster himself. And the card that Kaiba wants or uses to defeat Anubis is actually another variant of his favorite trading card, called Blue-Eyed Dragon, called Shining Blue-Eyed Dragon, and Yugi and him use it to defeat Anubis, but the card itself, how it operates in the movie and how it operates in the actual trading card game are two completely different things. So if you ever see the movie when you own Shining Blue-Eyed Dragon card, it does not operate the same way in real life as it does in the movie.
You sound like you still play the game.
I watch videos occasionally.
But it is true. I know like a lot of the cards in the show and in real life, they have different effects. You realize the show's going to write things to make it work for that episode or this movie. Because and at the end of the day, this whole movie, the show, it's all a giant advertisement for the trading cards.
Yes. Well, I'm going to let you explain basically the core element of the anime and movie, which is the rivalry between Yugi and Seto Kaiba.
Sure. So, in case anyone who's never seen this franchise before, all right. It did bless it as one of the best rivalries in all of anime. say what you want about their overall content. Basically, running around, he's being a prick to all the other side characters, and all the other like villains of each particular arc that run into him. He's just being an arrogant asshole. It's entertainment, and then even the rivalry again, it was top notch up to a certain point. I mean, to me, this movie kind of ruined it because again, for a movie, you would want to throw in some refreshing concepts, right? And then Yugi and squaring off against Kaiba, which their battle takes up most of the movie. It's not a refreshing concept. I'm not saying that they could have made them battle, but it's the same old song and dance. Like it was overkill at this point. But again, Eric Stewart, who's the English voice actor of Seto Kaiba, he gets the arrogance and prickishness down to a T, which makes it entertaining up to an extent. And then even their rivalry goes back into the ancient times of the Egyptians, where Seto is allegedly like a revived priest and ally of the pharaoh, and Yugi is possessed by the spirit of said pharaoh from the Millennium Puzzle item. So there you go. And then each of these main characters has some kind of theme that translates to the trading cards they use to play the card game with. Kaiba uses overpowered brute force usually, his blue eyes white dragon monsters, and Yugi usually uses like magic and dark magician. But I'll let you elaborate more on that here.
Well, as you said, Yugi and Kaiba have, and in fact, every key duelist in the original show have an ace monster at their sleeve. For Yugi, it's the Dark Magician. For Kaiba, is not one but three blue-eyed white dragons. In both in the anime and the actual card game, blue-eyed white dragon has more attack power than Dark Magician, but Dark Magician has more magic and trap cards and other monsters at its disposal to activate effects. So basically, as you say, you have the choice of using either raw power to overpower your opponents, or use tricks to counter the game and destroy your opponent's monsters. Basically, as I said before, Repetition and Blood Red Dragon are their ace monsters, and throughout the course of the trading card game, not the anime, they have evolved to other different monsters with different abilities and powers, and have their own set of trap cards and magic cards, cards to have various effects to aid you in the game, and also they can fuse with other monsters in the game. For example, during the Battle City tournament, Dark Magician fused with Buster Blader to defeat Kaiba's ultimate monster, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is all three Blue Eyes Red Dragons merged together. But basically, as you hit the nail on the head. Kaiba's basically three strategies to overpower his opponents before they can react. And if his monsters don't have the firepower to do that, his trap cards and magic cards aid him in that quest. And Yugi basically uses more strategies to outwit his opponents. But the core cards in this game are not the ace monsters, but the Egyptian god cards, which you mentioned. Cypher, Obelisk, and Ra, the Ring Dragon, and Ra. They have some interesting effects in anime and actual card game themselves. Like they operate differently from the anime, but I won't go into too much detail, but basically the train card game nerfs the Egyptian god cards, whereas in anime they're like the all powerful cards to the point that in this original series, Yugi buries the Egyptian god cards with the pharaoh. Pharaoh, but I think it's time that we critique and rant about this movie because this is not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination.
Honestly, dude, there's not much more to say. All right. So, like, 2/3 of this movie is taken up with well, actually, I would say 3/4 of this movie is taken up with the Yugi versus Kaiba battle and all the shenanigans. All right. The scene where Kaiba battles Pegasus to obtain the blue shining dragon card. And they're like, oh my god, there's an extra card there. Like, how the fuck would he know? Because I mean, throughout the series, they're always changing up the cards. They always have like the core cards, but everything else gets changed. It's like, how the fuck would they know? But I guess you're just supposed to suspend disbelief there, right? And then the fact that the main villain of this movie doesn't show up until the battle's almost over. And then you have like they go inside to make the pyramid of light cards activated. They're inside. They're battling all of the shadow game monster things, which was okay. But the fact that the main villain himself doesn't physically manifest up until pretty much the end of the movie, like, what the fuck? And he does nothing but plays a card game. And then he gets fucking bodied by the card that he was supposed to use to like conquer everybody. Which again, I don't know how a trading card. So this is a part of the whole franchise that never made any sense, even when I was a kid. Because these cards are holograms. Or I'm sorry, these trading cards are used to activate holograms. So how the fuck can something that's supposed to be mass produced, meaning they're supposed to go to these places, win cards, buy them, whatnot, like how you go to any card shop nowadays.
Yeah.
So how's a children's trading card loaded with the power to corrupt the universe? So the point being is it's an incredibly stupid movie. Like, this would have been best served as a TV special. Like, no more than an hour. No more. Honestly, an hour is probably pushing it. It's just not good, man. Like, outside of Seto Kaiba and Pegasus screen banter, which is always witty and entertaining, this movie really has nothing more to add. It's not good. But I would make an argument. I think the sequel movie, sort of, which is like Yu-Gi-Oh! 3D or Bond Battle in Time or something. Yeah, I heard that one was even dumber. And I've never seen that one. And then the one that came out like 10 years ago, whole Dark Side of Dimensions. That one's the best one in the whole franchise, but default. Even though that one's dumb. At least like it tries. Whereas this was just lazy. I mean, I got nothing else to add. It's just, good lord.
I'm gonna add.
Now, if I remember correct, so we don't recommend you go watch it unless you are a fan of the franchise and you haven't seen it. And if you like our discussion, analysis, and deep dives into these movies and others, drop a like, follow, or subscribe to our channel, and we always greatly appreciate it.